What's up guys, Technicals here, back with our build series where we're building stuff because building stuff is the fun part of mining, for me anyway. So if you like building stuff, this video is for you. If you're into sitting around and talking about coins and listening to someone sit at a computer and talk about coins for 20 minutes, then this video is not for you. But I've got a problem. I effed up, and I effed up big time. All right, so how did I F up? Well, it's getting warmer outside. Yesterday was pushing 80 degrees. And so as you know, ant miners get louder when they get hot. The fans have to go harder. And how I effed up is that I made friends with my neighbor. You see, I like my neighbor quite a lot, and I want to be considerate to him, and I don't want it to be super duper loud at night, during the day, during the summertime. So the ant miners, even though they're in a room here surrounded by this building, you can still hear them in the dead of night. And I get up in the dead of night, and so it's a lot quieter at night. There aren't birds chirping and shit like that. And so you can kind of hear it. The whine is there. And especially in the late afternoon, as you know, it gets hotter. They're kind of loud. You can kind of hear them. So what I aim to do today is silence the ant miners. Now, I know they make all kinds of kits like this. I'm sure you've seen kits like this, these fruition designs where you have to buy an AC infinity fan and retrofit it. I don't want to do any of that. What I want is a modular solution, because if you saw the build on this shed, you know that I built a lot of this stuff to be modular so I can add things, remove things, etc. Case in point, the picture window, which is the exhaust window. These are just foam boards that are cheap. These things from Lowe's. If I take a miner out, I can just get a new foam board and cut a hole in it to accommodate whatever the exhaust solution is for the new mining device. So again, in the spirit of staying modular, I want to be able to silence the ant miners without having to put a silencer on each one, spend a lot of money for that. What I'd like to do is have a modular solution that fits all over this so I can silence them all at once and do a good job at it. If I just can get the decibels down by, you know, a certain percentage, then I'll be happy. And so in the farm, again, to illustrate, this is the picture window with the exhaust. I know, I could have made a graphic for this, but I'm not going to. I'd rather draw it. The exhausts are up here, and that's by design, again, because the ant miners are moving the most air. I want them at the top where the hottest area is, so they're doing the work, pushing it all out. So I've got to be able to retrofit something over this to silence them all. I don't want to take up a lot of room. I don't want to spend a lot of money, and it's got to be modular. So what I've devised is basically a box. So this box is going to be long. It's going to fit over that section, and it's going to contain soundproofing panels. These panels, to be precise. Now, you might have seen other miners use these panels before. People will often put ant miners into like a cooler or a box or something like that, lined with these things, designed to absorb the sound. But again, I'm not trying to put each individual miner into a cooler. I want a modular solution. Now, these aren't the best in terms of their sound absorbing properties. There are better solutions out there, but again, these are very budget friendly because you can get like 24 of these on Amazon. Link in the description below. Buy it using my link. I think it was $30 for 24 of these. So a bit over $1 per 12 by 12 panel. So it fits into the budget. And basically my design is, if you imagine that this is the ant miner exhaust, these red lines represent noise. And so the noise is going to be coming out. I'm going to have a box designed here wherein there is a diagonal section here with a panel that's going to absorb roughly 50% or so of the noise. This panel will capture these evil red lines, and then if any make it through, there's a panel at the back. So there is no straight shot for sound to make it out of this enclosure at all. It has to bounce off of one of these sound absorbing panels. And my ideal scenario is that these panels absorb a significant percentage of that sound. Additionally, very important, is that this box do not hinder or hamper the pressure, the air pressure, the exhaust of the ant miners, because like I've seen a lot of people put ant miners in coolers and put long pieces of 4-inch ducting on them, and I can't help but think that's stressing the fan. That's making the fan work harder. It's pulling more power, and it's ultimately making it louder because it's got to push that air to get it out. And so I imagine that makes no sense whatsoever. So let's get to building this thing. And so in terms of materials, I'm going to be using one of my favorite building materials. That's right, PVC, because PVC is very cheap. It's easy to cut. There's tons of little connectors that you can get for it, relatively cheap. Roll the build montage. All right, so I'm not sure how well the contraption is gonna work, but it's I'm leaving it like this as Mark 1, version 1. I ran out of the T's, so I had to use a cruciform connector. So that's why it looks like it's bowed out, but it'll level out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm thinking that I'm gonna hammer it all together, or rubber mallet it all together, and then just kind of drizzle cement in the seams instead of taking them out, cementing, and then putting them in. The cement will perform some level of bond. It's not gonna be under any great stress, but my fear is that if I go to cement them, it's gonna be a mess and it's gonna throw everything out of kilter. And this is Mark 1. We'll see how well this works. You know, I kind of like jerry-rig a lot of stuff, and this is certainly jerry-rigged looking, but I have high hopes. I'm optimistic about it. The cement's basically dried up. Again, that's not how you do it. You're supposed to take this out, primer it, cement it, push it in, times a million. Again, this is Mark 1. We're doing it quick and dirty. All right, next step, getting the soundproof panels in. You might have noticed I've got kind of a big gap here. So I've got to suspend these somehow. I was thinking zips, combination of zips and tape. Doing a bad job YouTubing, but I covered it in this, I think it's 6-inch wide vinyl vapor seal tape. Super sticky. I'm hoping it sticks to the foam. I'm really pressing it in. And then for this diagonal piece here, I'll probably zip it. We're somewhat paneled up. I left the sides open so you can see. Evil, loud noise. Ow, ow, ow. Quiet noise, quiet noise. So I'm gonna close up the sides and let's see if this shit works. All right, beloved. So this is, if you're an Antminer exhaust, this is what you see. You do not see open air. Well, I guess you do see open. God damn it. Well, anyway, we're gonna try it like this. It's about 67 outside right now. So the Antminers they're a little loud. They're not terribly loud right now, but they're loud enough. So I'm gonna get my little noise dongle and see if this has any effect. Shut the door to isolate the environment. We'll get readings at various places. All right, well, as I suspected would happen, the tape's just not sticky enough to really hold these on. I thought that would happen. I was hoping to just get a reading and then like come back and have to zip tie them all in. Fuck, it's all messed up, but we can take readings. All right, up against the box. 5 feet. 10. It's a little bit muffled, but I feel like the Antminers are revving into high gear. I guess I should have been monitoring the RPMs. And that might be because of they are fighting against these foam panels. So maybe if I just take these out completely, as to not hinder their movement, the air, then maybe they'll get quieter, and the tape will act as some level of sound absorption. So I didn't take a reading from the side because it is noticeably quieter, but only time will tell. So what we'll probably do is go back, remove this to fix up the panels, to secure them in place, get them super duper secure, and maybe we'll revisit in a part 2 video. All right, I'm doing this live. I have not attempted this before, and I'm gonna see if I can rock it. There, so I can pin it up there. You can't hear what I'm saying, can you? Pin it up there. I'm not sure if the audio picked up on that at all. I won't normalize the audio on that segment just to see, but it's certainly quieter. Other thing too, now that the silencer's in place, I want to check the pressure, if I'm still leading a positive pressure environment. Crack the door. No, so it is negative pressure. So the amp miners are pulling more than these AC Infinity fans are taking in. But I'm probably gonna swap the filters here soon because there's a lot of pollen, unfortunately. It's just that time of year. I know, it's not good for miners, but I mean, I don't know how in the hell anyone else filters their air to that point. Just adding more fans, I guess. I mean, maybe that's in the future. It's in the cards for the future, but it looks like we are negative pressure in there. Which is okay. It doesn't seem to be that big of a hindrance, but you know, negative pressure means it's pulling in through the sills. It's gonna be pulling in air. But as I mentioned before, I now have 2 exhaust fans in the way up high. So it's staying surprisingly cool in here, considering how hot it gets outside. So we'll leave this up for a few hours. Be sure to monitor. We could do in the future, we could add more panels on the reverse side back here, tighten up the gaps, because there are some gaps like under here, you know, noise is going to get through there, and then also we could put like maybe just like a 3 or 4 inch width right there. But you know, I'm calling that, I'm going to say that's successful for now. These diagonals, I don't really feel are close enough to impede the fans. I mean, I'm just not sure if that amount of pressure that they're exerting against that diagonal is close enough for it to increase the air pressure between that and the exhaust fan sufficient to make the exhaust fan have to work harder. Maybe it is, I don't know. I didn't go to air college. So if you guys like videos like this, you like the build series, you like to see just me slapping jerry rigging shit together like this, let me know in the comments below, because I love doing videos like this. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Otherwise, I'm TheTechnicals. See you next time.